Former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris will meet for the first time face-to-face tonight at the highly anticipated ABC News presidential debate. Polls showing the candidates remain neck and neck. And in the battleground states, a new Quinnipiac poll shows that Georgia is tilting towards Trump, where he leads 49% to Harris's 46% in a two-way matchup. Now, in North Carolina, Harris leading 50% to Trump's 47%. Both states are technically too close to call as they fall within the margin of error. Now, the Harris team reportedly scrambling to rewrite her debate strategy after they counted on the use of unmuted microphones, where Harris allegedly wanted to object, fact-check, directly question Donald Trump while he was speaking. Harris commenting on the upcoming debate. Watch this.
He plays from this really old and tired playbook, right, where there's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go. And we should be prepared for that. We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth. And we should be prepared for the fact that he is probably going to speak a lot of untruths. And ultimately, you know, what I intend to point out is what so many people know, certainly as I'm traveling the country in this campaign. He tends to fight for himself, not for the American people. And I think that's going to come out during the course of the debate.
And Trump is expected to hit Harris on her policy flip-flops, surging inflation, her role as border czar over the past 3.5 years, and her time as a prosecutor in California. Carolyn, and Hillary Clinton, the last female to debate Donald Trump, said that in an interview last week that she should try to bait him on that stage. But doesn't the muted mics make this more of a difficult evening for her?
Well, she was planning on the hot mics, right? Because that was the point. She wanted to bait Trump to avoid answering any policy specifics. And this was the risk of her leading this phantom campaign where she was ghosting the press and ghosting reporters who didn't want to just write puff pieces. It allows your opponent to define you. So now she's in defense mode, and Trump is given this opportunity to really slam her on her past extremism as a 2020 presidential candidate and as an extension of Biden's failures for the last 4 years. And so, you know, she's on her hind legs basically right now. And I think, you know, she's not going to have a lot of great answers to fracking, to immigration, to economy. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of questions from the debate moderators. And again, we don't expect a back and forth, but we shall see. But also, Carol, you know, and Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman and others, it's a very extensive piece in the Wall Street Journal about kind of where each camp is coming from. And what they said that the Trump campaign believes would be the most effective strategy tonight is to, you know, force her to own her partnership with Joe Biden, tie her to the policies of the last 3.5 years. The things of his presidency that voters are most unhappy about. That would be the high cost of living. That would be chaos around the world, public safety, immigration.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that we're talking about a strategy for the debate. The strategy should be come out with your policies and they should be better. It shouldn't be some sort of dog and pony show or, you know, political theater. Americans want to hear what these two candidates are going to do to fix the economy. And I think what Trump really needs to do is be very clear. You have lived under the Trump presidency before COVID. You lived under the Biden-Harris administration after COVID. How is your quality of life? What has been going on with the border? What's been going on with the United States and its standing in the world? So the strategy is just pointing out the realities and the truth and the difference in policy. And, you know, like the piece has said, making her own what it is that her administration did. And oh, by the way, she was the deciding vote on all of those policies. So her fingerprints are all over them.
The Inflation Reduction Act, which was really a climate bill that led to record high inflation in June of 2022. Well, tonight's 90-minute debate is going to be hosted by David Muir and Lindsay Davis. A new Media Research Center study shows that Muir, who's the lead anchor of ABC's evening show World News Tonight, hosts the most pro-Harris left-leaning newscast out of the big three, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Analysts reviewed all 100 campaign stories that have aired on your show since President Biden dropped out, which was just June, if you can believe it. 100% have been dubbed as clearly positive by the research center. The newscast coverage of Trump was 93% negative. So the media's role in tonight as well is going to be in focus, as is the moderators.
Yes, I think it's fair to say Trump will have a few opponents tonight, and it won't just be Kamala Harris. Just to give you a sense of the bias and mental gymnastics that ABC News just in the last couple weeks has been through to artificially inflate Kamala Harris. Just this is a teaser of what we're going to see tonight, I fully believe. So we saw this New York Times Siena poll come out recently, right? That was literally the other day. It showed Trump up again. It showed pretty bad news for the Harris campaign. In the direct wake of that, ABC News published a reanalysis of an old poll from August that had Harris up. I mean, basically saying, oh, if we adjust the numbers a little bit, really, that she's ahead. So, I mean, that's what they're willing to go to.
Carol, we should never question the numbers, right? As financial folks, never question the numbers.
I mean, I remember the last time we had numbers on Election Day with Trump and Hillary, and everybody thought that Hillary was going to win. So, you know, those polls, they're what do they say? Lies, darn lies, and statistics.
Yeah. I think that they have changed the methodology since 2016, but we all remember 2016 in those polls. That is so true. All right. Well, we are just getting started this morning. We are going to have much more on former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris's ABC News presidential debate all morning long. Don't forget to tune in tonight. Fox Business will simulcast the debate at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Special coverage begins 6 p.m. Eastern Time.